welcome back and a very good evening to everyone present here. So, for the 3-month training program on family counseling, so I invite all the eminent personalities, patrons of WCOP who are not present here though, and and also the participants who are present here, and uh, and chairperson for the training program for today's for this 3-month training program. So Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir, and I also welcome all the beloved participants, and also welcome chairperson for today's session, TD Vimla ma'am. And we have special invitees, though they are due to some issues they couldn't join though. So Professor Sri G. Sudhakar sir, he's a headmaster ZPHS, Pal Samudram, Chittoor district. And we have another Dr. N. Purna Sharat Chandra, PD, Physical Director, ZPHS, Kuppam Badur, from Chittoor district. So now I request Vijay sir to start the welcome address.
This 3 months training program on family counseling, I welcome today's chairperson, Professor Vimala. Before that, the chairman of the 3 months training program, our Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir, is also the patron of this World Congress of Psychologists, and the chief patrons, Professor P.V. Ramamurthy and Professor Girishwar Mishraji, and another patron, Aran Singh from Uttar Pradesh, and the secretary, Subhashini Madam, and the treasurer, Professor Suresh, and Professor Krishnamurthy, Professor Vimala, and other core committee members and executive committee members, and the course coordinator, Professor Ashok, and the rapporteur of the program, Dr. Rama Devi, and other beloved participants. And I am again welcoming all the including participants to this 19th program. Now I am handing the mic to Rama Devi, please.
Thank you, sir. So now I request our chairperson, J.D. Vimla ma'am, before she gives her short speech, I would like to introduce her to the group. She's a retired principal. She has retired as principal for Government PG and Degree College, Kottagudem, and she has 30 years of experience in teaching. And she has also organized UGC national and national workshops and seminars, and she has presented papers in national and international seminars. Presently, she is acting as resource person to APHRD and Navodaya training session. So I request Vedagiri Ganeshan sir to take over the session.
Good evening, Professor Reddy,
Right,
Dr. Vimala, Dr. Rama, and Professor Krishnamurthy, and the participants. It's my great pleasure to be here this evening and to have the opportunity of addressing on PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And it affects people in a way which is very peculiar. It is psycho-neurological. It's a trauma. Trauma is created not only in the war, but even in the civilian life. The death of a dear one, something like that. The husband dies, it is a shock. Wife dies, it's a shock. Our parents die, it is a shock. And especially during Corona, unexpectedly somebody dies. One of the family member dies because of Corona, not only because of Corona, but multiple complications like kidney problem, etc. They get exaggerated and suddenly somebody dies. Maybe young, middle-aged, or even older people. So it is more of a bereavement, how to come out of it. And post-traumatic stress disorder is a great problem throughout the world, including the advanced countries. They have a problem. And somebody was a war veteran in Vietnam some 3 decades back, and somebody was in Arabia 2 decades back, or in Africa, a war veteran, they call it as war veterans. But it happens in the lives of anybody for that matter. The near and dear one passes away, and somebody gets mutilated, one leg gone, or one hand gone, or something like that. So what happens in PTSD? The brain, it keeps on warning again and again, something may happen again. Okay, this is hypervigilance. We call it as hypervigilance. The brain says it may happen again. An earthquake may happen, like in Gujarat or elsewhere. So their heart rate goes up all the time. And we can't say it will not happen. A counselor cannot say it will not happen. It may happen or it may not happen. So the person is always jumping into the future and imagining that it is going to happen. So possibility is it may happen or it may not happen, including earthquakes, etc., volcano eruption or war or homicide, etc., or suicide. So life is impermanent, and you have to prepare the mind of the person to come to the present, because they are always stuck in the past. Post-traumatic means it is stuck in the past and it is projecting into the future, and it thinks the same thing may happen again. It may be there. Proverbs are there in different languages. Our Indian languages also. Okay. So you may have in Kannada or in Telugu or in Tamil, people say it will happen again. Yeah, nobody can say it will not happen again. Nobody will say it will happen again. It may or may not happen. So to prepare the mind for that, we need certain programs. And one technique which I have developed and used is toss a coin and guess before tossing whether it is going to be head or tail. Make 3 columns. Column 1, serial number. Column 2, happening, H or happening. Column 3, it is, no, I'm sorry, column 2 is a guess. Column 3 is happening. So you make a guess whether it is going to be head or tail. And then toss the coin, then record whether the happening is head or tail in the 3rd column. Do it again and again. Okay, how many times? 100 times you cross. You toss and you also guess 100 times and see what happens. And your brain, you are re-educating that what you are expecting may happen or may not happen. Because the brain always says, because of the shock or the trauma, it says it is going to happen. It's going to happen. That's a negative expectation. But when you do this, you have nothing to do with the earthquake or the death of a dear one or something like that. But your brain is prepared to understand that things may happen as you expected, or it may not happen as you expected. So you don't expect, don't be pessimistic. Okay, so that is the central message. Even if you give counseling, people cannot imbibe that into their cognition. But this behavior, as we know, cognition, it's difficult to handle. But by changing the behavior, cognition changes. So this coin toss, they will do it for 100 times, again, another 100 times, 200, 300, 400, up to 1,000 times they do. Then they understand we need not guess the future. This is a central message to be passed on. Don't guess anything about future. Focus on the present only. The here and now only you think. You may say that, but they cannot understand that. Or making the brain. Always I focus on educating the brain. So this educates the brain to accept whatever comes, I will face it. It may be positive, it may be negative. So let me stop expecting something negative. So this is the one exercise which I have used in treating so many cases, including PTSD. And what is the cause? I'm not bothered. It may be a rape, it may be death of a dear one, it may be a business loss. Okay. So in any case, you can use it. And the brain stops thinking about the future, stops guessing, and focuses on present and the here and now. And this is a very useful technique which you can try with any case of PTSD. Yes, any question or observation? Yes, please.
Sir, a general question.
Yes.
Sir, will the PTSD can be caused due to the loss of a job or anything, sir, or it's only the loss of the dear ones?
Yes, because the storm may come again, earthquake may come again, tsunami may strike again. Nobody can say it will not come. A counselor cannot say it will not come. And death may come for anybody.
Okay.
So the whole problem in PTSD is having a pessimistic perception of future. And that is daunting the person. Like in Vietnam War affected veterans, etc., or Arabian War, etc. They're not in the present at all. They are mentally ill. Similarly, a young widow always thinks about the husband who is dead, or a young widower thinks about the wife who is suddenly, unexpectedly gone. They are unable to bring their attention to here and now. So that is the major thing for a family counselor, to bring them to face here and now. And there are ever so many ways of talking to the here and now. And this is what one thing I would suggest. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, just it's my doubt.
Yes,
With
please.
regard to this post-traumatic disorder,
Yes.
is there any just stages or types?
Yeah. You see, certain things over which nobody has control, like earthquake or tsunami, okay, or something like that, or even corona, for example. Nobody knows when it is going to strike. So that is one thing. Another thing is there is a potential threat by terrorists. A terrorist in a terrorist infested area like Kashmir border, there is a likelihood that there may be an attack, bomb blast. So there is a surety. So the tsunami coming or not, we do not know what is the probability of tsunami coming. But the terrorist attack in Kashmir is hardly 50-50. Okay. So similarly, a lady who has been sexually abused thinks that it may happen again. And she is always recalling the past and projecting into the future. And she is unable to go out or talk to men, things like that. Okay. So there are different types. Sure of threat. The threat is sure, the threat is unsure, etc. And somebody may say, he went to the funeral of somebody, comes back and says, I may die. There is no stress for the person. But the person says, I may also die. Like that. So basically it is anxiety. Whether it is PTSD or whatever, it is basically anxiety. When anxiety comes, it becomes a psychoneurophysiological, endocrinological. So you have to help the person to calm down the system, calm down the breathing rate, then relax the body, muscle relaxation. So the package should have breathing relaxation, muscle relaxation, and cognitive, equipping the person also. Okay. For example, post-traumatic stress disorder. What is the cause? What the person is replaying from the flashback? We have to find out. There may not be one situation. It may be more than one, 3, 4, 5 situations. Okay. Those scenes keep coming, hitting the person. And then it creates anxiety. And they become passive, they become depressive. Sometimes they consider suicide because it is so troublesome to live happily. So some people go for escaping from this and they commit suicide. So it is basically anxiety, and it is a situation specific, and a situation has happened in the past. Now, how to help them to handle depends upon the case. We will do it. For example, a rape victim thinks that any man at any time, okay, may hurt me. So to remove that, the behavioral prescription is train them to have self-defense. Most of the men are okay, but some men are not okay. If a situation comes when somebody within the house or outside the house tries to molest, try to attack, so increase the self-efficiency of the person to handle the situation by themselves. For that, self-defense technique is given, and it can be learned from some expert, or they can refer to the self-defense techniques for women. There are websites, or videos are there. From there also they can learn. But I suggest that the family counselors, they themselves should learn and give it to girls who have been sexually harassed earlier and have a fear of marriage. They will be avoiding the marriage. And if at all they are married, after marriage also they will avoid sex because they have an aversion. And the PTSD is haunting them. So now to come out of that past memories, one should equip them to face, if at all something happens in future, they should know how to handle it, how to counteract like that. That's what I have suggested.
We have shown, we have seen so many types, so many incidents, so many events, and particularly the incident which we experienced, experiencing and experienced for the past 2 years, just 20th, 2020 onwards, we have been experiencing this COVID.
Yes,
I
yes.
think, see, we might have met a person accident, but he might have suffered, we got admitted, and he might have experienced all types of whatnot, everything. But ultimately, after 1 month or 2 months, he may die. But that is different. But here, there is a vast difference between particularly during COVID period. People, at least soon after a death, in certain cases, in majority of, except this corona, other cases, at least we could be able to, the people, the relatives, the household people, they are fortunate enough to bring back that body, dead body, to the home. And they just can do all kinds of formalities, and they just take and buried in the funeral ground.
Yes.
But that was different, and the situation we experienced during COVID, it is totally highly, I can say, highly painful. Just this disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, it is no way comparable with other disorders. Am I right, sir? Please react.
It is sure, because it is just like experiencing a war, a bomb blast, like Second World War, or cholera attack, and nobody knows who is going to die. Okay, plague is affected like that. So cholera comes under that category. Suddenly something happens and nobody knows who is going to die.
Yes.
So the person who is surviving is also thinking that I may also die.
Yeah.
But one of the thing in anxiety treatment is focus on what is within your hand. The focus on the present. Okay.
Yes.
So the mother should feed the child. Okay, the worker should undertake the work. And as Sigmund Freud has said, work in itself is a therapy. You see, whether the building is going to fall by earthquake, or whether you are going to have corona, or whether some terrorist is going to kill you, forget about it and focus your attention on here and now. But for that, what to do? I said coin toss. Okay. Second thing is concentrate on your breathing rate and reduce your rate of breathing, as I have already explained. So coolly breathe out and coolly breathe in. Then your whole attention is in the breathing rate. Then it will not jump into the past. It will not project into the future. So reduction of rate of breathing is also another technique. Another technique is start running in the same place. Your heart rate will go up, your BP will go up. What happens is you are physically active and mentally you are switched off, because it is the mind which is switching on all the threatening things. It replays the past, the negative thinking comes, the projection comes, they fantasize, they are afraid of the future. So one is physical activity, like running in the same place, going for a long walk, or go to Tirumala by walking. Then the brain understands, stop thinking, stop imagining, or go around the Tiruvannamalai, 14 kilometers. Shiva is there, go around, okay. Religion also prescribes, okay. Different religions prescribe different physical engagements. Don't simply sit there. The idle mind is a devil's workshop. You have to stop thinking, you have to become physically active and mentally active also, okay. So there are certain mental activities also can be given as a therapy. Okay, you can disengage them from thinking negatively. The counterpart or the antidote is to do some mechanical repetitive activity, not expecting anything to happen. This coin toss also is not going to pay you, but do it, okay? Then the person comes to the here and now. And also equipping for the future. If at all something comes, somebody is going to attack you with a weapon, you should know how to block it, how to save yourself, and how to counterattack. So these things are taught in Varma therapy. Varma program is there, masters are there, bare hand fight is there. Even if somebody is carrying a weapon, they can immobilize the person, make them unconscious. They cannot use the weapon. Okay. So these things are taught in police and army as a close quarter battle techniques. But the same thing can be taught to any youngster also as a preparatory method to defend in case somebody attacks. So they should develop self-defense techniques, especially for women. And it is available in the videos, self-defense techniques for women. If you put in the Google, the videos come. From there you learn. Be prepared. If at all something happens to you, prevent it. Don't think about the past. Okay. If you are prepared to confront the future, there is no anxiety. But if you feel helpless, then you are anxious. So my suggestion is train people, be prepared to face any such disaster, especially for women. Okay, even men can learn self-defense because they may be also aggressed by some stranger. So they should know how to hit back. Okay, it is good for both. Mostly it is required for women, school girls and college girls. And I do train them in this Varmakalai to attack, which can even kill a person without any weapon. One can kill a person. I offer such training. I have been trained in that. you can disarm a person and make the person to become unconscious or even killed. But if you do that, law also protects you, because for self-defense, protecting your life, you have attacked. It is not a murder. It's not a homicide. So the Indian law also tells a girl or a man can attack the offender. In the process, if the offender dies, then they will not be penalized.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes, please.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, if there is this couple who lost their son, 40-year-old son to COVID, sir.
Okay.
So, like, unlike young people, we cannot intervene and give other things to these older people, no? Like, how do we help them bond, and how do we help them to reconnect and like stay happy?
You want to help the parents or the spouse?
Yes, sir. Parents, yeah, old people, old, yeah, like in their 50s.
What about the spouse? What you
Spouse,
mean? The spouse is there, isn't it?
yeah, but I wanted to ask about, spouse is like, struggling a lot
Yeah.
with the kids, young kids.
That is why, as I have told in the beginning, you can't treat one person, you have to treat the whole family.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I'm asking about the spouse. Spouse also would have felt. But the parents would have felt because they have been with the person for 40 years.
Yeah.
Spouse would have been there only for 10 years. But even it's a pain for everybody, including the spouse. Now, basic thing is focus on the present. How to focus? For example, the parents, how many children they have?
3, sir.
So one passed away, 2 are there.
Yes, sir.
Is it not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Let them focus on the people who are alive. Show love and affection to them. By showing love and affection to the people who are alive, they can come out of the bereavement and the stress. That is one thing. And if the spouse is there, let her focus her attention on the children. Don't hurt them, love them, help them to grow. The focus is be focused on the present. Don't go to the past. So that is the way. That's the way they can come out of it. It is for bereavement also, it is the same. Okay. So there is a Greek story where a young man, newly married man, dies in the war. The young wife is dazed and she is simply sitting without speaking anything, not even crying. And she has a baby. One old lady brings the baby and leaves the child on the lap of the mother, and it starts crying. And the lady looks down and she starts crying because that child is to be focused. There is no counseling, but that old lady leaves the child on the lap and the child cries, and she is forced to come to the present and then forget the past of the untimely death of the young man in the war.
Right.
So ask them to focus on who is surviving, then to think of who has gone. That is one way. Another way is the parents can focus their attention on the siblings they are having, brothers and sisters, young children. For them, you can do something. And another thing, this is known as surrogate. Surrogate approach means equal age. Okay. Their younger brother, that is the father's younger brother's son. The mother's sister's son. Ask them to focus on them.
Yes.
Because they are from the same clan, same blood. One link is gone, but other links are there. Okay?
Right.
So their own daughters and sons and daughters, and their brothers, sons and daughters, or the sisters, sons and daughters, ask them to do something to them. And another thing is, they may pass away at any time because they are parents. son has gone at 40. The father
Mm.
may go at 60 or 60 plus.
Right.
So instead of becoming afraid of that, ask them to focus on what they can do. That means they should be told what to do, act.
Mm.
So you prescribe actions. Go and
Actions.
visit your relatives and make them happy.
Mm.
And if you do like that, then they will come out.
Mm.
Also used in bereavement counseling.
Bereavement counseling. Yeah.
Yes.
So what do we do for couple who are like where intimacy doesn't work, like for old people, like 50 and all? For them, intimacy cannot be applied. Anything other than that for them to bond, because their children are gone from home, they live alone, and they live in separate rooms. They are like irritated with each other, frustrated with each other. They don't like, they want divorce now at
Yeah.
60 or 50.
Why don't you recommend a second honeymoon?
Okay. But they don't want it.
No,
Really?
Then they need to be treated. They have got some
Mm.
difficulty. That is why the behavior therapist should help them.
Mm.
Okay. If the lady is too shy, ask her to
Mm.
unwind. If the man is hesitant, ask him to come forward. After all, they have total privacy now.
Mm.
Okay. So counselors should not have a doubt with age. Things go away. Nothing goes away with age.
Mm.
Because aging is only for the body. For the mind, there is no aging.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that is an important thing. Bernard Shaw, he wrote a letter to his mother-in-law who was 85. And he said in that letter, perhaps due to advanced age, you may have to forego certain pleasures of life. And she wrote back, nothing is lost. Nothing is lost with age. Okay. Even sitting together, touching each other is also giving pleasure.
Right,
But if
right.
people have got two separate bedrooms, ask them to sit side by side. That is the behavioral prescription. Okay.
Right, sir.
Yeah, you can do it. So you do it boldly because you are a therapist. So you have to ask them to do certain things like that.
They are like we are living like this for the past 10 years.
Hey, Baba, sab kuch chhod do. Leave all those things and do what I am asking you to simply sit closer, hold your
Right.
hand, start laughing. So if you give it in piecemeal, they will do it. Okay, that will help them to a great extent.
Right.
Lean on each other's back and start laughing. When the body comes into contact, okay, the brain accepts. They need not even face each other. Sit, okay, back to back and start laughing. They
Right.
will decrease, okay, even at the 50, 60, like that.
Nice.
Because the brain has developed certain habits, that's a whole problem.
Mm.
So you are training the brain of the client, that is a central aspect. Or in
Yeah.
other words, we would say you are cheating the brain of the client.
Mm.
That means cheating means slowly you have to do like a pickpocketer. Okay, one pickpocketer will press on one side, another pickpocketer will pick up the purse, and we will not know whether it has been picked up.
Right.
So it is a very stealthy technique. And you have to be imaginative in developing such techniques.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That was very
Okay,
elaborate.
Betsy.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Betsy.
Sir,
Sir, may I?
yes.
Ma'am, Vimla ma'am, if you have the question, you proceed, ma'am. I'll take up next time.
You can ask. You can ask.
Okay, okay. So Ganeshan sir, there is a case, a lady who was like they were very poor in the beginning. Now they are okay. So she
Okay.
was working as a cook in some hostel.
Okay.
So due to her financial issues or the situations prevailing at home, the supervisor or the warden of the hostel took advantage of her, and he forced her for sexual pressures. So she could not deny it, And now it has been 10 years back. The situation, this happened 10 years back. But
Okay.
now she is scared that I did a sin or I did some mistake. And she feels that what if I get a HIV, or what if I get AIDS or anything. So I did very blunder. So how can I overcome this? And she's feeling, she has been taking medicine for anxiety with some psychiatric, and she's very lethargic. She's feeling very lethargic and energyless.
What about
And
her husband? Is she married and husband is there?
yeah, husband is there, but husband doesn't know about what happened. But she shared with her son because she could not tolerate all those trauma.
What is the age of the lady?
45, sir.
Husband's age?
50.
Okay. Now, what is required?
I mean, my question is it due to anxiety, or is will it come under PTSD?
Yeah, it is PTSD in the sense it's a trauma. It's a trauma, it's a hurting her to a great extent. So what she should do, she should make a determination, hereafter somebody touches me, I will hurt them. How to hurt can be taught by self-defense.
Yes, sir.
So she comes to the present, and in future, nobody can touch her. This itself will help in erasing the past. Otherwise, she becomes vulnerable. She was vulnerable, and even now she is vulnerable. So we should strengthen her by making her to develop self-defense technique. Train them, train her. And another thing, ask her to enjoy sex with her husband. Otherwise, she will be avoiding sex with her husband because of the overgeneralization. So she will think it is a dirty job or it's a sinful act, but the husband will be missing the pleasures.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. He did the
So-
same. He asked directly to her.
Okay. So give her self-defense and ask her to enjoy sex with her husband. Okay.
Okay.
Ask her
So-
to keep the eyes open during sex. If she closes the eyes, the trauma will hurt. She will go into the fantasy and the remembering past. She has to keep her eyes open when she is having sex with her.
Okay.
That itself will solve.
Okay.
Closing the eye only brings all the flashbacks. So
Okay.
these are the behavioral prescriptions.
So in one session, I mean, she came only for one session, so she was feeling so lazy or anything. She all the time she feels like sleeping. So I made her run in the same place 25 into 4 times. She said, I'm okay. But the problem is she is not motivating herself to do anything.
Okay, now what I suggest is, I always suggest such cases, they have to be admitted and treated, and you must spend the whole day with the person, or your assistant should spend time. You train somebody to take care, or yourself, you spare time. See, surgeons operate for 17 hours in some cases, heart surgery, brain surgery. So it is not prescribing a drug. You are like not like an MD, you are like a surgeon. You should spare your time to be and then give continuously programs. Okay, and then check and recheck, like in the ICU. BP is checked, temperature is checked, etc. like that. So you should care, and then you will develop the skill, and they will also be happy. You will be also happy in completing one case successfully. That's what I would suggest. But generally, people do counseling and then give something and ask them to go away. So you have to spend time, you have to sacrifice your time for treating. And believe that you are like a surgeon. Surgeons spend more time in the theater to save the lives of somebody. Okay, and that will definitely yield results for the client, and for you also, you will have satisfaction.
Yes, sir. We do, but in most cases they are not ready to get admitted in the hospital. So though we have the rooms in the hospital,
Okay, but you
they are.
spend more time. You spend 2-3 hours with the person.
Yes, sir. I do the same thing, sir. Every time in case I'll spend nearly 1.5 hours to 2 hours to at least to make them some activity in them.
Okay. Ask her to open her eyes and touch her husband. Not necessarily
Okay.
sex. Ask her to touch, looking at the husband. Okay.
Okay,
So the
sir.
touch itself will bring the binding.
Yes, sir.
That will be all right.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Sir, in our midst, Professor Krishnamurthy sir is there. Professor Krishnamurthy sir, kindly react or contribute.
So I have attended a few PTSD cases recently. What I did was I employed certain skills, counseling skills, listening and then getting more details. Afterwards, recognizing, identifying their triggers. I was able to help them to relax and then change their way of thinking. So when the thoughts were altered, where their emotions got normalized. Now they are in a better position, carrying on their livelihood.
Good. Cognitive behavior therapy. Yes.
Yes, sir. I did cognitive behavior therapy
It
along
helps.
with relaxation techniques.
Yes. 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 No, just by relaxing the muscles, relaxing
Yes.
the breathing.
First thing is I educated them on how the body responds to these triggers.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
When the triggers are recognized and
Yes.
taken care
Yes.
through relaxation, it gets neutralized.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Then the next step is by neutralizing itself, it is not sufficient. I have to educate them and to make them recognize the rationality in their thought process, belief systems, their
Yes.
perceptions. So it is this that becomes the base for their emotional reactions. So I was able to help them to identify their negative thoughts processes and challenge them. When it was challenged, they realized that there is no real support for what they are assuming.
Okay.
So this altered their thought process. They were able to give away. Not only the triggers, they were able to put them in the right perspective. Some 3 to 4 cases I have done like this during this post-COVID period.
For example, in a TA, they say racketing. Racketing is one thing which Eric Berne has told. Suppose they lean towards the right, they feel sad. You ask them to sit straight. Things become so body posture, gestures. Ask them not to do such gestures or alter the body position.
Yes.
Then they have a better mood.
Right,
So,
sir.
Eric Berne has said about it as racketing.
Here, Meenakshi, I hate to recollect the name. I think the last name is Meenakshi. He has written a book on this transaction analysis, how he used. And we had interaction sessions with him, and I learned this technique also, the role-playing technique.
Role-play, yes.
Role-playing. When role-playing was done, it was possible to perceive the things in the right perspective. There was difference between a father and daughter. The daughter was complaining that the father dislikes her, doesn't support her, emotionally stands with her. So she used to be hostile with him. So when this was brought to this picture, so the girl was asked to attend this role-playing technique. The empty chair was made, and she was responding as her father, and then she also played the role of herself. So later on, a link was possible between these two, and she was able to overcome the obstacles. The hostility got away.
Yeah.
Meenagundi Sundaram, I think, somewhere. Now he's no more, but we had some sessions.
They call these things as role reversal,
Yes, sir.
role play, behavioral reversal,
Yes.
two-chair method,
Rehearsals,
three-chair
yes.
method, all these things are there. Yeah, they
Mhm.
are very useful, very effective. Yes.
Yes.
Uh, Sir, actually, it may not be a question, but I need a clarification. See, we have been observing in the society,
Okay.
or in the earlier society and the present society, see, a husband dies and another half an hour wife also dies. Our wife dies and another just 2-3 minutes also husband just died. So, and similarly, some other cases, just wife dies and automatically just here husband is dying very soon, very soon. So all these comes under, I think, post-traumatic disorders only.
Yes, definitely, definitely, yes. They are unable to digest the trauma.
Trauma, yeah.
They are unable to digest. That's the thing.
But they have been studying Bhagavad Gita, all Gitas.
Yes,
But the moment a person who is very closer to them and attending to all activities, and they could not be able to bear, though they might
Yes.
have studied Bhagavad Gita or some other Gita.
because they feel that they cannot exist without the partner.
Oh,
That is, they are so much emotionally bonded to the spouse. That's the thing.
my
But,
another question.
yeah,
In the older generation, we might have expected, and the present also, just say 30 or 40. I don't think so more than that. And the coming generation, shall we expect at least 20%? That might have empathy.
you see the film, Telugu film, Maro Charitra.
Ah,
If you see the Maro Charitra, the young people, they identify so much and they die.
yeah.
So it is an emotional tag, okay. But one thing, how to save such suicides or shocks is they should care for others. It is not two people in the world bonded together, but the whole world is there. If one person goes, what you can do to others? Perhaps they have not thought about others at all, including their parents. That's a whole problem. And the strangers and the neighbors and the people who are suffering. Okay. So for them, they have a tunneled vision between the man and the woman or the husband and wife, etc. They can do so many things for others, but they felt they had a tunnel vision. That's a problem. Okay, it may happen to the old, happen to the middle age or the young. So what is required is in family counseling, we should train them to care for others within the family and outside the family. Okay, so care for others, then that is an antidote to suicide also. So when somebody is considering suicide, I will prescribe, go and give a pint of blood to the blood bank. The moment they care for others, their attitude to suicide also changes.
Yeah.
They would like to live longer and do many things like that.
Sir, it is because of their failure to get connected to the others that is acting, that is forcing them to shut down. So if they connect themselves with the family members, the outside family, with the
Yes.
society, then they will be knowing how far they are valuable to others.
Yeah.
How far they can
Yes,
help
yes,
others, care for others.
Yes,
So
yes.
that gives them a value,
Yes, yes.
purpose of life.
Yes. Yeah, purpose of life is to be useful to others.
Yes.
That some people have not understood. What I can get out of life, than to think what I
When the
can
purpose of life is
give to others,
recognized,
give to the world.
it is not living only for the self or the limited living. if they can extend it to the others, that is getting connected, if the purpose of life improves, if there is a value, I can do something. So I would like to share here one anecdote, sir.
Sure,
A lady, doctor, it was in the book
Yeah.
of Norman Cousins I read. He was giving lecture to the audience about how they can help. One lady called him and said, "How can I help? How can I help?" So he inquired, he will have a meeting, and he came to know that the lady had undergone brain tumor surgery twice, and she survived. She is now in the process of, after 9 years of surgery, she has survived. So what he suggested was, you have got a phone, you can give advertisement when the people are identified as with tumors and surgery is required. You can counsel them. Here in Bangalore, one Rotary governor named Mani, he used to visit Kidney Foundation, tell the people who got diagnosed as having kidney problem, and also they were required to undergo transplantation. He would stand there, he would say, how I have survived, how I have faced this. So that used to act as a motivational phenomenon. Model, role model, like a role model. If he has undergone, I can too. I too can undergo.
Yes.
I can survive. So
Like,
it is an emotional contagious
Yeah.
condition that helps them. Not only negatively, they have to connect, they can connect with positively too.
Actually also, like
Yes.
Alcoholic Anonymous also, they do it.
Yes,
like
yes,
that.
yes, 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 yes. So that has become a big organization, like, and we can do.
Okay. Hmm.
So I learned in Switzerland, there is what is called as a time bank, wherein they go and serve elderly people. Lonely, single people, a single person goes and serves somebody who is in need. And that is taken as an account, time spent.
Yeah.
And when they require, they will notify and they will get back somebody to help them.
Okay. Borrowing time. Yeah.
Yes, sir, yes. Depositing time and borrowing time.
Borrowing time.
A kind of social
in-
activity that brings a lot of change in the in social relationship.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, in charity, there are different types of charities. A charity is one, if you do charity, the beneficiary should not know that you are the person who has given the
Help, yes. Support or something like that, yes.
Yeah, right, sir. I do agree. Sir, Ganesh, sir, your Ganesh, sir, video, audio is not functioning.
topmost to the Venkatesh.
And the player, the total one.
Perumal is okay. Am I audible now? Yes. There is some disturbance. I hope we have regained.
You are audible, sir, now.
Okay, fine. Nice to know that Krishnamurthy is doing a lot of service there in Karnataka.
Yes, sir. I am actively involved in not
Very
only counseling, even in therapy sessions.
Oh, very good, very good, very good.
I continue to.
Research methods, statistics, yeah,
Mm,
guiding research scholars. Wonderful.
yes, sir.
Sir,
When there is a reference, I take up the case and help them, sir.
Yeah, very good.
Sir, shall we conclude? Ganeshan, sir.
Yes,
Yeah, Rama.
sir, one last thing I would
okay,
like to discuss, sir.
okay, Rama, yes.
Sir, actually today a case was referred by a psychiatrist. He's under rehab for alcoholic de-addiction. Yeah, he was diagnosed with AUD,
Okay.
and he has SLD, specific learning disability, as he's diverse. So he has been in the rehabilitation for 2.5 months.
Okay,
So the problem they came here for referral is whether he has any ED, to diagnose for ED or the triggering factors for ED. When I spoke to him, he said that he didn't come for treatment though. Uh, when I was probing, so he said that he don't have erection, so he's not interested in sex.
okay.
So how can we? I mean, like, what sort of questions, or how can we come to know the reasons behind his problems, sir?
You see, with regard to alcoholism, it is always a relationship problem. It's not a biochemical problem. It's not the alcohol which is corrupting the minds of people, but they have got a relationship problem with parents or with spouse.
Yeah, he's divorced, sir. He's divorced.
Okay, it is okay, but then his problem, as you have identified, is the erectional dysfunction. You said ED, but some people may not know what is ED. It is erectional dysfunction.
Erectile is
Okay,
okay.
but what is erect? I mean, he is having premature ejaculation.
No, sir. He says that he doesn't have any erections. After divorce of 1 year, he was good. He was having erections, and he watched too much of porn and too much habit of masturbation as well. So after
Okay.
1 year of divorce, he was good. So gradually his erections was slowing down, and one day, even after if he watches or visualizes, he doesn't get any erections.
Okay.
So
First
he
of
lost
all,
the interest. He has the desire, but he has the low libido.
okay. But then this kind of masturbating, looking at the porn videos, is cheating oneself. So his brain would have switched off. Okay, now he has got divorced. Okay, now the brain says, have real sex, man, not imaginary sex. You are going crazy, so it has switched off. There are research studies where it shows if a man has sex with a woman, the sperm count is more. But if a man has masturbation, the sperm count is less. So the brain knows this is nonsense. So it has switched off the system. Okay, that is why erection is not coming. So it is a functional disorder. What does he want? Is he worried about his erection? If that is the case, with whom he will have sex? If you want to remarry, okay, somebody, then you can equip him and remove this erectile dysfunction.
I mean,
Okay.
like, is it neurophysiological, sir?
Sex in humans is purely psychological.
Ah,
Purely psychological.
yes.
In animals, it is seasonal.
Not neuro.
If the rain comes, okay, immediately they get stimulated in sex. But here in humans, they are alert all the time. It has no relationship with season, which controls the sexual performance. Okay. At the same time, if you ask the person to perform, the mind changes. In cognitive behavior therapy, either cognition changes or by changing the behavior, cognition can be changed. It is known as the reverse control. Okay. Suppose he wants to marry a girl and now he has married. Okay. and then he has difficulty having sex with a woman because his brain was stopped the erection because of too much of masturbation, too much of porn videos. Now, what you do is ask him not to close the eyes when he has sex with his new wife. Don't close your eyes. And then this technique has been told by Masters and Johnson, and it has been told in the ancient saints also. So what they do, don't have sex, just smell the whole body of the partner, male to female or female to male. With the eyes closed, only smell. The pheromonal contact happens. Only touch. Okay, closing the eyes, touch the whole body. Each one touches each other. They get stimulated. Smell, taste. Okay, like this. Use all the five
Yes, sir.
senses.
The sunset focus.
Then they get stimulated. So it is a known as sensate focus. See only, hear only, smell only, taste only, like that. Then the brain starts working because the brain has become frozen because of too much of overload of a visual input of sex videos and then masturbation. So it says stop this nonsense. It can be restarted provided he has a girl in his life. If he gets married, then things will be all right. That's what I would suggest. This is
Sir,
an
he wants
aim.
to marry.
Marry. Let him marry, he will be all right. But describe these things. Just look at the girl only, with fully dressed, then half dressed, and then nude. Then smell the lady, over the dress, minimum dress, like that. Each sensor organ feeds the brain, and then he becomes all right. This is known as sensate focus by Masters and Johnson. This was told in ancient Vedas also, Atharvana Veda, and Thiruvalluvar in Tamil has written beautifully in 1.5 lines. He has written like that. In any language, it will be there. In Telugu or Kannada also, people would have written. See, all the senses have to be used in sex. Okay. Some people don't use all the senses. So you can re-educate the brain and he will be all right.
He was sent to whether it is ED, I mean, the reasons or the causes behind the erectile dysfunction. So,
Erectile dysfunction is only a label, but you have to go
yes,
deep into this. That is why I said, feed all the five senses, six senses. Okay,
yes.
then the brain wakes up like that. Sensory enrichment. Okay, but such things are done abroad with a sex surrogate. Okay, a male or female is used only for this kind of treatment, but it's not allowed in our country. So what you do is you ask him to get married, and with a guarantee you'll become all right. Or ask him to get a girl who will agree for all these things, to be a partner. Okay, if he has a girlfriend who will cooperate, ask him to bring, and then you can do it. And you are not at fault. Okay. And I do such things. Okay.
Because he is in rehabilitation, we just said that he needs a
mutual
treatment.
consent. Mutual consent. Our
Yes, yes.
president will agree. Mutual consent means the law will not touch. Okay.
Yes, sir. So that is what we said, that we have given the report that he has the psychological and neurophysiological as well, because he is not trying to switch on his emotions or anything. He's not completely. So when I don't have erection, so why do I need sex? So he has come to that fixed mindset, the rigid thinking. So
Okay, Raman.
that is what
Raman.
we gave the report and said that he needs a treatment as well.
Rama, this is the problem with some of the clients. They want everything for themselves. They don't think they can be useful to others. See, I asked the question of marriage. Why do you get married? Okay, to a man or a woman. They say somebody to cook and wash and have a baby. No, you are giving life to the girl, and the girl is giving life to you. So he thinks I don't want marriage. Some women say, some men also say, Are Baba, you have to be giving help to a man, or you have to give help to a woman. If you care for the man or the woman, you can get married. If you don't care for a man or a woman, don't get married. That's what I say. Okay. Okay, Rama. We'll
Okay, sir.
conclude.
Thank you.
We'll
Yeah.
conclude.
Okay, conclude.
Yeah, sure. Okay, sir. As always, another wonderful session regarding the PTSD with so many cases so many case studies discussion. So I thank you, Ganeshan sir, for your valuable time you have given to us. You have been giving to us for the past couple of months and the coming weeks as well. So thank you so much, sir, from the bottom of the heart and on behalf of WCOP and the beloved participants. And also thank DGR sir for providing such a platform or to enhance the skills of the counselors or to train themselves and to so that they can train others and improve their practice as well. So I'd like to also thank Vimla ma'am who has taken her time in spite of her busy schedule. And I also thank all the participants who have been present here and keenly listening to all the solutions and the active participation of the participants. So I thank you so much once again, Ganeshan sir, and I thank you one and all, and have a pleasant evening.
Yeah. Here is a correction. You said, Rama, couple of months, couple of years. Since 1920 onwards, R is with us. And regarding Inspired Professional Psychology Society of India, then Indian Academy of Psychology Society of India, then Superannuated Psychology Society of India, and now WCOP, World Congress of Psychology Society. You said only a couple of months. But
No, I was just talking about this training, sir.
yeah, okay, fine. But I am just clarifying because
Yes, sir. I know.
yeah, a couple of years, and I was a student onwards, R is with us. You do not know, right? So, and another just request or appeal to the participants. Now we have uploaded from practical sessions onwards. So today also we are going to upload 1 or 2 sessions and there will not be any backlog with regard to practicals. You please write down all the, just go to YouTube and listen again, or write down at least 3 to 4 cases per day and submit it to Professor Ashok. This kindly do it. And some of the participants, they are not taking it in a serious manner. I am not able to understand. Earlier, that school psychology, they were quite active. But coming to this program, some of the people are quite irregular. I'm not able to, I'm very sorry to say. But anyway, I hope coming, at least coming sessions, they may all become positive and they can attend. Right. Good night, everyone. Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir.